Hi, my name is Alyesha Wise, and this is my close read of my poem, Foolproof. One of my favorite poems, actually, which feels good to say. It came from my first actual book. I'm a real good Negro. The first line says a lot right there. I think when you're saying that, the reader and listener doesn't really know where you're going from there. It starts off with like a lot of sarcasm. The word Negro was very intentional. Could have just easily said, I'm a real good black person. It goes across a span of time like this. It can apply to like back in the day, it can apply to today. I smell right is a way of saying like, yeah, I fit in. You would want to be near me. I belong in this room. And when I don't, I wash up good. The person speaking is having a vulnerable moment. I mean, the whole poem's kind of vulnerable, but this is one of those honest moments, like when I'm not where white America wants me to be, I am working so hard to be there. I wash so hard it hurts. So this line gets to me. It hurts. There's no other meaning to hurt, but it hurts. Like, it really does. I fuck stiff. Can I get real? Can I get real? Okay, so in real life, I do not. This is affecting who I am on a daily basis, so I fuck stiff. I could be just this mold of clay for whoever the hell needs to just use my body for however they want to. When it shocked me to even be writing it is when I knew I had to write that line. I don't ask no questions. This is, I think, the first line in a poem where I actually start to use a certain dialect, a certain type of language. Like I wrote it I, then it was apostrophe O-N. You can feel their blackness pushing through as much as they're trying to impress. They are who they are. Being able to step out of that, I swear I'm a good Negro, to saying I don't ask no questions. All of a sudden this is like in the actual voice of this person. It's because this line is really that plea. Honesty comes out in more ways than you want it to. Trim my grass, trim my voice, trim my pussy. I'm so childish. Why did I laugh? I love this part of the poem. I actually have a lot of fun with it. I think they represent ways that we feel like we have to take off pieces of ourselves to lessen ourselves in order to fit in. Trim my grass, like that whole idea that like I look like perfection. Look at me, look at my house, look how I take care of myself, look how my lawn is perfect and green. Trim my voice. I only say what's needed to be said. I don't got time for all. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about the real things happening with black folk. Trim my pussy. A good woman doesn't get like too much going on down there. A good Negro knows how to keep themselves tame. I could have easily chose any body part to talk about keeping it perfect, but I wanted to be bold in this poem. When I'm saying that line, sometimes I keep that word out, and I did it by accident one time because the type of event it was at, I wasn't sure if language that bold would be okay. I was like, trim my grass, trim my voice, I clock in, and I said the next line. And so many people still got it. I don't think the kids in the room got it, which is good, they shouldn't. So you have the one line, I clock in on time. Next line, I clock in. And the line after that, it's I'm always clocked in. The person saying this poem is having a moment. It's like I clock in on time, like I swear I'm doing everything right. Almost like a epiphany, or like they're just starting to wake up, snapping out of it. It's like that get out moment. And always is the only word in the poem that is italicized. Always is so heavy. I'm always performing for someone. You have that vulnerable part. I'm always clocked in. And then it's like you go right back into it. Boss say some hour he gonna give me a break. All in this like selling out or trying to be something I'm not is going to pay off. It's not just trying to convince the outside world or those giving you a check. It's also trying to convince yourself. Got patience in my heart. I can do this. It's just that convincing. Got soap in my mouth. I love this line because this line makes me think of just growing up with like my grandmother, who was just so bold with her language. She was a heck of a woman. If we said something she thought was wrong, it was just like a threat, but it never really happened. Don't make me wash your mouth out with soap. And that sounds scary. It sounds disgusting. And when I wrote that, it's like, I'm trying so hard to be part of you, I will punish myself. Got manners. So again, it's back to this. Got patience in my heart. Got soap in my mouth. Got one of my favorite things to do is repetition in a poem. To be able to put that rhythm in there at some point. And these are these very intentional statements in order to let them stand out, to start them all off with the same word. The person's voice is still trying to get out and trying to be heard. Got Jesus Christ. Shout out to Jesus. One of the biggest things used against the black person in America and before America was to try to convert them to Christianity and to white Jesus. I remember my auntie had a picture of like a black Jesus on her wall. I realized it, but I never appreciated it the way I do now, looking back. Got new shoes. What's this saying that you can tell a lot by a man or a person by the way their shoes look, you know? So when you got shiny shoes, when you're on point, it's like, yep, I'm right there with you. Got so many cliffs to walk off of. I swear I'm trying. I swear I can do it. I swear I can fit in. And then the last line is just like that punch. And what happens after that is like a ... And I refuse to write ... to my poems if I don't have to. So it's like a ... One of my favorite things to do in a poem, to bring a poem out, is to use like sensory kind of like language or imagery to make it, what I like to say, pop. It's fun. It's fun to play with, even in heavy poems, you know. It's a short poem that leaves so much space at the bottom of the page. We don't realize how much as readers that we're impacted by something, but we are. You know, it's there. So you see all this space. I think that last line sits with you in ways that you don't even realize. The title of the poem is just sarcasm within it's all sarcastic. It's saying I am not this thing, but yet I am. The title of this poem took me a long time to think of. Poets aren't sitting here just got all the words in their head, you know? But at least I know what I want to say, and I was looking up synonyms for different things and like what I wanted to say, and then Foolproof popped up. And I was like, you sure you want to do this? Sure you want to use that word? I was like, yeah. It's not a finger pointing poem. I wrote this from first person for a reason. I've been the fool before. I've been this person in some way. Being a product of this country as a black person, I am now foolproof. No matter what comes my way, I have this whole facade up. I am trained, and you can't really be, at least not deep inside. In its own weird way, it's like a love letter. It's like, yo, I still love you, but like I've seen these things, and like how do you write a poem that says to someone you love, that says get it together?